Chris Level here with another edition of Pirate Talk. Colton Coons taking care of us behind the camera as always. Pleased to be joined now by golf coach Chris Coursey, as somebody who's not unfamiliar to West Texas, from Monahans. I think you spent a lot of time in coaching pretty much everything at Idalou.
I did.
Yes, but Cooper and Coach Coursey kind of got lucky in that there was an opening, and it's like you were coming back to teach, and it's like, hey, you want to do a little golf? I mean, this guy's coached in the state tournament before, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, you are very long time knowledge of, but welcome back.
You bet.
Yeah, welcome back.
I'm glad
And
to
are
be here.
you excited to be back in West Texas?
I'm very excited to be back. There was an opportunity for me to come back, and I researched one school district, and that was Lubbock Cooper, because I feel like that it is the premier school district in West Texas. It's very similar to some of the Metroplex suburban school districts,
Okay.
and there's a lot of success here. And I knew some of the people here. I knew it was just a good place to be. So
It's always about, we are in athletics, I guess, if you want to look at it that way, but it's a people business.
absolutely.
And if the people, and you're obviously, tell me what classes you teach.
Well, I'm teaching forensic science this year. I was a chemistry teacher and a
So you're like
physical
Gil
science.
Grissom.
Yeah, that's
Gil Grissom on CSI.
That's
yeah,
it, yeah.
Like, okay. Which I love that show and the whole premise of it. And I'm guessing a lot of kids do too.
Oh yeah, the kids. A lot of the TV shows now are based on CSI, and that's kind of the big thing. And I really enjoyed the class.
Crime solving.
Crime solving.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, everything on Netflix these days is some documentary about some unfortunate crime and like how it got solved in one little thing. So anyway, we didn't get him here to talk CSI, but I do think that's probably got to be fun. How many classes of that are you? Just one or two?
I had 2 a day.
2 a day.
Two
Okay.
a day. So
Okay.
yeah, really good.
Okay. Last question about forensic science. How in depth do you get with that? Like how into the weeds are you getting with like some of what you're teaching?
Well, we've created our own crime scene. We've studied different ways of taking fingerprints, and one of the things that the kids really like is on Fridays we do a serial killer Friday. So we kind of study a famous serial killer, I guess, or infamous. Serial killer, and
definitely the latter.
So the kids really like that, learning about those people.
Okay,
too.
yeah, because that's what all the documentaries out there. It's unfortunately it's about it's about bad crime. Unfortunately, yeah, but we're all interested in how did they do this or whatever. Okay, so let's talk about something a little more maddening, more than crime is chasing that little white ball around.
Oh yeah.
Which is there's many people that would love to commit a crime on the golf course because it's so frustrating. It's a frustrating sport. How does Coach Coursey handle being a golf coach?
Well, it's golf's always been kind of a passion of mine since I was a little kid. I would consider myself more of an athlete type. My dad was a coach, tennis coach. I didn't play tennis because Dad said my temper was a little too high. So he said, you need to pick up golf. And I went, well, golf, and I got a little temper, but it doesn't really bring out anything bad in me. But golf's, I've enjoyed it since, I was a kid. It's fun. It's something you can teach and see improvement. Nobody's playing defense on you. You don't have to game plan for that. You do game plan for the golf course, but it's just you really get to know the kids too. I will say, as a coach, I've coached pretty much every sport from 7th grade girls basketball all the way up to varsity football, and in golf, you spend way more time with those kids. You get to know them on a personal level, and that's they get to be part of you. And the freshman year, you can already see when they're going to be seniors, and you kind of dread that moment when they're graduating. So it's a great relationship sport to coach too.
Well, you mentioned the word temper, and like that's probably not something that you want your golfers to like. It needs to be like kind of even keel most of the time, right? Because it can be, even if you're really good, you're gonna miss hit one, or you're gonna dunk one into the water, or just whatever. It's gonna be very frustrating if you let it get that way. Are you part-time psychologist or counselor as much as coach? And
I would say I'm probably 90% psychologist and calmer versus swing coach. But it's it comes with the territory. It's I always tell the kids next shot mentality, and they're young. They're 14 to 18 years old, and they don't like to make mistakes, and when they do, they haven't had made enough of them where they know how to handle them. And so you kind of want to teach them how to handle the bad situations, along with when you're playing well too. You can't get ahead of yourself. So
it's like that old acronym EAR. EAR. Had somebody tell me that a long time ago. Expect, assess, and reset. Because guess what? Something bad is going to happen on the golf course. There's no such thing as a perfect round. You don't make every putt. It doesn't exist. So expect it, and then assess it, and then reset, and then away we go. Right. Tell me okay, first of all, you walk in a cool situation in that you had a state medalist, Kyler Rizell. I was in Austin last year watching him compete in the state tournament. Phenomenal player. He's, I think, signed to go to
Midwestern University.
There you go, in Wichita Falls. Yeah, there you go. So he's going to be playing at the next level. But it's kind of fun to have like somebody right there waiting on you whenever you kind of join the golf program over there.
Oh, absolutely. If you're going to be one of the top teams in the state, you're going to need what we call the alpha on the team. And Kyler's definitely it. He's proved it last year. He's been with the team, probably in the top 5 his whole career. This year he struggled with injury, though. He's been out. He played one tournament with us in Fort Worth, and he played that with a hurt shoulder. So we're working on getting him back and ready to go to lead the team. So.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of torque on the shoulder, the back, the wrist, stuff like that. You wouldn't, because it is athletic. I mean, you're going to be an athlete on all that. Let's take me through some of the other players on your team, because we were talking about Jackson Bartley, who I thought he was following Kyler around the state tournament last year, and I thought that was just kind of fun for me as an outsider watching his teammates go support him on a big stage for high school golf. I mean, you've been to that, and the course is difficult. There's galleries, and it's like the and all that. But yeah, take me through some of the other kids on the team.
Well, we have, like you said, Jackson Bartley's a senior. He played several of the varsity tournaments last year, and then we also have Ben Kraft, who Ben has stepped in and played the number 1 bag for us with Kyler being injured. We also have the twins, Parker and Preston Sizemore, who have, talking to Coach Wilburn over at Liberty, that he said those 2 kids have really improved from last year. And so it's good to see that. We're senior dominated. We've got 1 sophomore on the team, Cam Kaufman, in the top 5, and I think he's going to be a really good player. Okay. He could play the number 1 bag if he had to right now as a sophomore.
Okay.
So he's solid. So I've been pleased with him. And then we get some younger kids, on our red team that have got good 2-day experience, and they're going to have to step in and take the seniors spots next year. So
okay. So how many total kids are in your program right now?
Right now we're carrying 16.
Okay, 16.
So
okay,
16
okay.
Boys.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's a sport where it's not abnormal for you to get a young one that's really good, because typically if they've been doing it for a while, and they maybe haven't matured yet, but they're this is what they do, and they're polished and all that. So we'll see what's around the corner for you. Tell me where all you went in the fall. I think you went to El Paso.
We went to El Paso. We began the year in Fort Worth, the Bart Granger tournament. That's the largest high school golf tournament in the country. 52 teams each year, over 250 players, and you have schools from Arizona, and then you're going to have every top 6A, 5A, and even the 4A schools were there. So it's a loaded tournament, and every year, depending on who wins it, that's usually determines a state champion. Sometimes it's been a 5A school, sometimes it's been a 6A school that's won, but every year, whoever's won that tournament has been the state champion.
Interesting.
So it's a neat tournament. It's big. It's tough. It's 36 holes one day and 18.
Pecan Valley.
Pecan Valley.
Yeah.
Fort Worth. It's P Valley is what we called it.
That's right. I played on that course as a kid many times. Probably said some things I shouldn't have and wasn't proud of. Maybe left a few golf balls and a few of the watering holes around that said course. But yeah, there's 2 courses there too.
Yeah, 2. Yes, the river and the hills. Okay. The river's pretty nice, kind of borders Mira Vista Country Club.
That's where my parents belong to that country club, and it's phenomenal. But yeah, it shares a fence line almost.
It sure does.
That's right.
Yeah, it sure does.
Most expensive golf club you've ever purchased?
Oh, the most expensive golf club I've ever purchased?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been lucky and gifted.
Oh, there you go. That's the best way.
I did break down, and I bought a Scotty So
Cameron putter. Okay.
Yeah, I bought a
Is
Scotty.
it worth it?
I think so.
Or is it mental, or is it?
It's a little of both, mental and aesthetic.
Okay.
To me. So
Okay.
it's but I will say this, and I'll confess this. I like to play competitive golf, and I was playing in the U.S. Senior Am qualifier back in DFW, and I'd had that putter about a month, and kind of let me down. I had 43 putts, and in my round, and I hit 15 greens. So it was. I was rethinking. Maybe I ought to go back to
the old one. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. So how much golf do you play?
well, during the season, I really don't play much. Sometimes I'll get out and play a few holes with the boys. If we go out of town and have a practice round, I'll get out there and play with them. But most of the time, it's kind of managing and taking them through, course management, situational shots. You have to watch that when they're qualifying because, you want to help them all. But, if you give one kid an advantage, one of the other kids might, well, coach, you helped him. So you have to, but you really want to, I tell them that up front, I'm going to help you during your round, course management, and help you make decisions because I can do that, while we're playing in tournaments. But I really don't play much during the season. So, even though I really want to.
Yeah, I know. I got you. But in the summertime, you're probably getting out there enjoying the the weather and golf and all that stuff. Okay, so it's almost Christmas, holiday season. If you could ask Santa Claus for a golf club, what would it be? If you have your eye on one and like money wasn't an object. Because one thing I've learned is that because my kid is involved in the sport too, and I mean we're only 2 years into it, and I'm like, there ain't a lot of money in that golf bag. I mean, so like some of these kids are walking around, which is pretty normal. That's just kind of what it costs. But you got $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 sitting in a golf bag is pretty normal. But so everything's expensive. But like you would want what?
Probably, the technology changes. Probably time for a new driver. When you get older, you're begging for more distance and all these new drivers.
Which one?
I like Titleist. I'm a Titleist.
Okay.
I'm a Titleist nerd.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because people are brand conscious and like they kind of stick with what they know and what they're comfortable with and what they've been sold and all that stuff. Tell me where you're headed in the because are you allowed 8 tournaments total?
We have 8 total for the year.
Do you do 4 and 4? Do you 3 and 5?
4 and 4 this year.
Okay.
So it's in the spring we'll head to. Go down to San Antonio at the end of January, try to get a little warmer weather.
Okay.
Then we're off for about close to a month, and we'll come back, and we got invited to the state preview, thanks to Kyler playing there last year. But I still think we're one of the top teams in the state. So we're going to go down there and play in Georgetown.
Which is the tournament. So that's an advantage.
That's huge, and that's the only time you get to play that course during the year. So you got to play that. And then we'll play at Amarillo and probably play Amarillo twice because we'll be playing district up there at Ross Rogers. So,
and people don't realize that, like you mentioned that that's a rule. Like if you already know this is where the district meet or where the district tournament is going to be, and this is where the state. If you're one of your kids, you're not allowed to go play those courses, right? Don't they kind of eyeball that, or like you can't be on the books for some? Is there some rule that you can't go play practice rounds or something on some of those? Is that accurate?
There is a rule,
like a UIL rule.
The UIL rule doesn't allow. It's really only affects you going into regional and state. Once you complete the district round, you're allowed 1 practice round on the regional course.
Okay.
And once you complete the regional round, you're allowed 1 practice round on the state course.
I see.
It gets limited there. But as far as playing district, for us, since we're playing in Amarillo, we're going to be familiar with Lake Ridge. That's one of our district courses on day 1, and day 2 we go to Amarillo. So we're going to try to get up there and get as many rounds as we can.
Okay, so you can go see these courses way ahead of time. It's just after it becomes like locked in, it's like, okay, now you get 1 spot. Okay, okay, yeah, because want somebody up there for a whole week practicing and everything. Oh yeah, that's not. Yeah,
well, it's going to affect us for regional too because once district's over, we can't go to our home course, Lake Ridge. We're going to have to unfortunately go to Rawls, but that's great. I love that's my favorite course right there. So.
It's a long one. You're gonna need that new driver.
That's right.
On that course, that's a hike, and it's you got to take your big boy clothes on. Well, Coach, one, glad you're here, and hopefully Kyler gets healthy and you guys make a run at things. Has there been anything that surprised you in the fall that you feel like, okay, we're starting to see some glimpses here of some things that we can carry over or anything like that before we let you go?
Oh, absolutely. I think the first practice we played at Lake Ridge, and we kind of went for a team score, and we shot 292. We had Kyler shot 67, and Cam shot 72. So I was like, okay, we're in the 290s. That's what it's going to take to play in the state tournament. So I saw that, and they have the ability to shoot in the 290s, and that's exciting.
Yeah. So for people that are watching this that don't have a really feel for high school golf, there's a lot of really good high school golfers. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot. And I think COVID added to the popularity of the sport because it was one of the things that you could get out and still go do. And people are like, I'm going to pick this up and all this. And it's led to a lot of popularity in it. But in your eyes, like, 70s is about what it's going to take. Like you can't put an 8 crooked number, like an 8 in front of that,
No.
And okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad for a lot of people.
No.
But for
that's what I don't think people realize. Because, if I ever growing up was like an 88, I thought, I'm king of the world, man. I am crushing it. Unfortunately, that's 15, 18 strokes off of where it needs to be. So he's regularly around 70?
He's about probably about 71, 72, which is solid. If you're shooting even par, you're going to be in the hunt in almost every tournament. So you don't necessarily have to have red numbers, but he's one that can shoot a red number, but he's also
because that's par golf.
He's consistent. Yeah,
that's par golf. And and these tournaments you're playing from the tips.
We play most tournaments from the tips. Some tournaments they'll modify because of the large field for pace of play.
I see.
So, but for the most part, we're going to be on the back tees.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, there's a lot of good golfers out there. It's amazing to me. It's impressive, is what it is, because golly, just it's changed. Well, Coach, Merry Christmas to you. Yeah. And I know you've got 2 kids in the Metroplex. One of them in the golf business. I think that's fascinating. That I'm sure you're proud.
Oh yeah,
and that's good stuff. Go Pirates, and Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. And one last question: what, like football? You said you coach football. Is there anything you can take from coaching another sport that you can apply to golf?
Oh, there's so much that sports that everything kind of goes together. I coach, like you said, I coach football as a head basketball coach at Idalou, so it's just. It's really developing a work ethic and seeing a goal, a long-term goal. I think that you can carry that to any sport.
Okay. I'm not going to last question you anymore. Sorry, I just kept doing it. I just kept thinking about it. But, hey, man, appreciate it.
Enjoy
Welcome back to Lubbock right there.
Thank you.
For Colton Coons behind the camera, for Coach Coursey, the golf coach over at Lubbock Cooper High School, this is Chris Lovell. Thank you. This has been another edition of Pirate Talk.